sick, so, but getting better. With that, time's yours.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Chris Jones will not practice today?
Yeah, won't practice today.
Andy, given we talked yesterday about your experience at this point, getting teams to the AFC and NFC Championship game in your career, what sense of personal, I don't know if it's pressure, do you feel to win it all? I mean, you've done so many things. That's really the only thing you haven't.
Yeah, listen, Ed, I mean, you've known me a long time. I think more of the players than I'm sitting here thinking about myself and all that. I mean, that's not where I go. I try to get the guys ready, and I try to, make sure I'm ready and then go play, and I don't look at it that way. I look more at the disappointment for the other teams that I've been able to coach and how those kids felt because they've worked their tail off for that amount of time and the other coaches, and then we roll. So.
One of the things that people say a lot about you is that you don't do anything just because it's the way you did it the year before. Maybe this is piggyback on what Ed just said. Are there some changes that you've made in preparations of this time of year over the years?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you try to keep it fresh every year. You learn every year, a little something here and there. So there are subtle little things that you do, and not necessarily because of that. We're trying to, every year you try to win. Every coach does. You try to win the whole thing. I mean, that's what you strive to do. Every player does that, and a few variables that you got to get through to get to this point. So, and then to continue on. So that's those are things that we look at every year, though. Yeah.
Hey, Chris Jones play without practicing this week on Sunday in your home?
And I'm not saying he's not going to practice. He's just not doing it today, but we'll see. Every situation is a little different. I'll just see how it goes and see where he's at. Try not to put him in a position where, obviously that he gets hurt or, hurts the team. That's you got to take care of both guys, the players and Chris. So.
Andy, there's a clip from the game the other day that went viral of Eric Bieniemy standing there calling the plays. Has it bothered you that there's been a discussion or a narrative out there that he didn't call plays? And why has it been important in your career to give that responsibility to your top assistants?
Yeah, listen, we just jump in and go, and I've always been that way with it. I think it's important that everybody's on the same page and involved with it. So I don't really care who's calling it or not calling it. I just want to make sure that it gets called, right? So, and that we've got good plays to call from. So that's where I put my energy.
I don't think many people would be surprised to know that you guys are back in this spot from where you were last year. But Tennessee, when you saw them earlier this year, and they were just a 6 seed, were you surprised that they made it this far? Did you see something in them that day that looked like they could maybe get hot and roll this way?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it beginning of the year. I mean, they've got good talent. They're well coached, and they play hard. So, yeah.
Andy, with the way you guys have practiced on Wednesdays, a little bit lighter, is that something you've gone to in past years before, and why this year?
Yeah, I've done that in years past. So, you just get a feel on your team. It depends on when I do it, but I have done it before. Did last year. Just depending on what week and how you feel your team is.
Andy, when you were 6-4 after the loss against Tennessee, and the manner in which you guys lost, everybody in that locker room, I can't remember being there, everybody just knew they were very frustrated, a little more mad than normal. What was it about that game? Was that kind of a breaking point for you guys, or is that something where you look back on and you're like, okay, that was a turning point this whole season, because you've won since?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Listen, you learn from all of them, win or lose. But maybe we didn't play the best. Obviously, we didn't play the best that we could play, and they played very well. So and they got after us. I mean, they kicked our tail that day, and so there's a point in every season where you go, hey, listen. We can pick it up. It could be early, it could be later, but that was a point where we probably all took it up a notch and needed to.
Coach, do you worry at all about bulletin board material? Do you talk to the team about that?
No. Okay. Well,
Coach, what has impressed you about Coach Vrabel and the way that he's been able to making decisions that are best for the team and switching out quarterbacks and then leading them to this point now?
Yeah, he's made some tough decisions, done a good job in a lot of areas, but that's one of the toughest ones you have to make. So, and both of them are good kids. So, you know, it's not because it's disrupting the team that way. So, but you have to, you know, he made a decision where you got to play the best guys at that particular time of the season. That's what he chose to do.
Andy, in terms of confidence, your team is obviously very confident now because of the season, the comeback in the last game. But the Titans maybe is the most confident team right now in the conference finals after causing two upsets. How do you deal with this confidence of your own?
I just turn it over to Larry Tardif. You know, let him talk to the guys. He's got a great accent.
Brazil.
Oh, you're from Brazil? Good. All right.
I have kind of a different question for you. Patrick Mahomes recently on a list of top 10 most well-mannered celebrities. Is that a trait that you noticed in him through your first meetings with him, or that you noticed in your interactions since then?
You know, you heard he was a great kid and all about football. And so we look at that. I mean, I'm not going to tell you we don't look at that. But again, you never know till you get him on your team. And you know, he's been what people told us he was. Yeah. Let me finish. Give me your question one more time. I slighted you there.
Sorry, about the confidence of your team. Your team is very confident.
Yeah.
But the Titans won Patriots and after the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
They are very, very confident.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. They've been underdogs in all those games, and they've played well. Good physical football on the road, and you know, we know that. We've looked at all of that, and but you know, they've done it and done a very nice job of it.
What qualities or characteristics of this team do you value most?
Yeah, I like the team's work ethic. They get themselves ready. They're not afraid to grind. So there's not a lot of issues. They don't present a lot of issues. I meet with the players committee every week, and sometimes you get things thrown across your desk there, and yeah, that's not the case with this crew. It just kind of handles business, and they enjoy being around each other.
Eddie, if somebody hadn't seen Pat play, how would you describe his arm to them?
Yeah, he's got an active arm. But he's got a good touch with it. So he knows when to heat it up a little bit, and then knows when to put it down. And got down to the velocity. Got a great feel. Can throw from all the different arm levels, angles.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Go ahead and fire away.
Coach, do you remember the last game and the way that?
Do I remember the last game?
That-
Whoa, boy. Yeah, I remember the last game.
But do you do anything different? Because I think when the field goal was blocked, the Joshua Kalus basically said he had gotten down your guys' rhythm, had studied you
Right.
guys, whatever. Knowing that and how successful he was making that play, do you do anything different facing this?
Sure. I mean, you go back and you look and see what happened, and obviously we were giving away, you know, our cadence a little bit. And I needed to do a better job of noticing that he was doing it during the game, because he was definitely getting a great get off the whole game. Didn't notice it, you know, and he made a huge play at the end of the game, and it worked out good for them. Since then, we've addressed it and changed it up a little bit.
What do you, going back to that game and obviously what happened at the end?
Yeah.
What does it say that you
The Tennessee game?
Yeah, you didn't necessarily have to talk to them about the issues in the last 2 minutes, that it was Buck or, you know, James and
Yeah.
and discussing it themselves to sort of figure it out, but the initiation of them to try to sort it out before having to come to the next meeting, the next film session with you before you you guys move forward?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are veterans. They understand, you know, exactly what happened. You know, you don't have to, you know, you're not going to sit there and yell and scream at them. You just make the corrections and you move on. You know, it was a bad day. I thought you know, like I said at the time, I thought our offense and defense did enough to win the game. We'd have to take care of our end of it, you know, and we would have been fine. So we moved forward, and since then we've had a lot of games and done a pretty good job since then.
We talk so much about offensive and defensive players having, you know, a little extra motivation or the possibility of redemption. It's rare that you get the sort of the same opportunities on special teams, or it's rarer, I guess I should say. Just what do you feel like you get from the guys understanding the opponent and obviously the chance?
Well, we know, I mean, they're a good football team, and it's going to come down to small plays. I mean, it's going to come down to special, just like last week. I mean, it was huge. So, you know, our guys know how important it is, and we're focused, and we're preparing, and we're ready.
Dave, how would you describe just the emotional swing that you experienced last week?
Whew. Yeah, I mean, it went from a nightmare to, you know, a great dream. I mean, really. You know, the good thing was, and I was really proud of our guys. I mean, the way they bounced, the way they stuck together, and they just went about, you know, going to the next play and moving on to the next play and making plays. They had one play, and then they had another play, and we ended up getting 5 big plays after that. You know, we had 2 bad ones and then 5 good ones. So, you know, it was fortunate that it ended up, you know, the way it did, and I'm just so proud of our guys.
It started with McColl's kickoff
Yes, yeah,
return.
McColl's kickoff return kind of sparked us, you know, got our team saying, hey, you know, we're okay, we're going to make plays, you know, and then I got our fans back into it, and then offense goes out in first play, I think, and score, and, you know, and then we got the, you know, got the thing rolling, and then with the, you know, with the punt fake, you know, stopping that, and then the kickoff, getting the turnover there, that was huge, you know, so once, I mean, I was in the locker room at halftime and saying it's 28-24, we're leading this game. You know, it's all there for us now. So and I'm just proud of our guys.
I was going to get you to speak to Dan's play on the big play.
Yeah, Dan's play, that was one of the most unbelievable tackles I've ever seen, you know, on a special teams play. I mean, it was a solo tackle out in space, hard tackle, angle tackle, and then he has to stop him short for, you know, basically a 2-yard gain. You know, otherwise, you know, they get the first down. It was, you know, I thought it was a good call. I really did. You know, but Dan, you know, I think he's been waiting all year for that play. You know, he zeroes in on that guy and he's looking for that direct snap, and here it came. So, you know, and he just was shot out of a cannon and didn't miss a beat and made a nice tackle in space.
It looked like he knew that was coming.
Well, he's looking for that. That's one of the things. That's his job. And I think he said the same thing. I mean, he's watching for it, and he hopes it happens. I mean, that's his mentality, you know. And it happened, and he went and made a play, and it was huge for us in that moment.
He's a guy that's kind of flown under the radar.
Excuse me?
Dan's a guy that's kind of
Yes.
flown under the radar a lot. How rewarding is it to see him be able to make a big play like that and to have such a big impact?
He's filling the radar, but he had 108 plays in that game. I mean, he played every down on defense, and he played every down on special teams, and he's that important to us. I mean, he's a behind-the-scenes guy, but he is so important, you know, to our football team, and he will be in these next 2 games too.
The kick return obviously got you guys jump-started. And their kicker, you had a lot of chances for returns because he couldn't kick it through the end zone. What's the weapon of Butker's leg, no returns for them? I mean, how big is that for you, especially this time of year when those plays could really swing games?
That's a great point, and it's a huge factor for us that we were able to kick touchbacks when we want to kick touchbacks. Here's a prime example. I mean, it's 34-24 in that game. We have the taunting penalty. We have to kick off from the 20. He kicks an 80-yard kick all the way down to the goal line, and we tackle him on a 25-yard line. I mean, that's Butker in our coverage units. I mean, that was another big play in that game. I thought that kind of went unseen, untalked about, really.
We'll go last one, Matt. Given how long you have worked with Andy and your friendship over the years, how important would it be to you to get into the AFC Championship game and potentially win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about this a lot, you know. I mean, and Andy, nobody deserves it more than Andy. You know, and he's such a great coach. You know, to not have a Super Bowl win, you know, under his belt. I mean, this would be huge. I mean, I don't know if I'd stop crying with him. I'd probably hug him forever. You know, I'm just so proud of, you know, what he's done and everything he's done, you know, in his career, and he needs that. He needs this. He needs that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Good question, Matt.
I didn't walk it off, Matt. Pardon?
How we doing? Afternoon. How's everybody doing? Let me get this situated so everybody can hear me. I'm not going to take long. It's great to be here in front of you all in this particular week and to still be working into mid-January. And with that, I'll open it up.
What's this week like? You've been involved in title games and stuff. What's this week like being one step away?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking about that until I looked at one of these is in the back room there that has all the back with the AFC Championship and all that. And I'll be honest with you, and maybe I'm different this way. What's going on, Ed? To me, it's another game. I know that sounds really strange, but you know, you get in the walls of the facility we're in, and you kind of get in the grind and get right back into the same routine, which Coach Reid is really good at, putting everybody right back in the same routine. I don't know that I feel it right now. I'm not saying I won't feel it as the week goes on, but trying to make it as much as we can, just another game and a sequence of however many we're going to play here.
Steve, how did you feel about your first full game without Oreo?
Yeah, tried not to think about it very much. I tell you what can happen, and even some of the assistant coaches helped me with this. Sometimes when that happens and you lose somebody on the back end, you start to change things and you call the game a little bit differently. And you know, I think Dave Merritt even said it in the course of the game. Look, don't, you know, Dave's great that way. Don't let you change. Don't let who's in there change what you're calling. Just go with it. You know, it's good to have assistants like that say, have confidence in the guys we're putting out there. And I think that helped. So I didn't feel it. We called it like we normally did. We miss him. I think the surgery went well, and he's doing good. Can't wait to get him back.
Steve, how would you describe sort of where you and Tyron are in terms of being on the same page? He's spoken about that before.
Yeah.
Sense of each other. And with that, I do wonder if you see a correlation between Tyron's role in the room and with the defense particularly, and Patrick's role in the room in terms of leadership.
Yeah, I don't know Patrick well enough. I mean, from what I see from afar, I mean, he looks to me like the ultimate leader, and we know what he's like as an athlete and the way he is on game day. I see some of the same qualities, obviously, in Tyron. I'm sure glad he's here. It makes my job a lot easier when you can rely on somebody like that. And there have been a number of times during the year where I've sat in my office and said, you know, I need to convey some message to these guys somehow, some way. And ultimately, what I normally do is I go to him and say, hey, look, can you steer them a little bit this way? And then usually it's, I got it, coach, and we roll. So it's good to have that.
And in game action, do you feel like you know kind of by now what Tyron's thinking, what he's doing, and how he sort of represents?
I'm not sure I ever know what he's thinking because he's out there just balling up. No, he's great on the sideline. Listen, the game's emotional, so we can all get a little bit emotional. Sometimes he's calming me down. Sometimes I'm calming him down. But I think the other guys really feed off him. And so when you have that in a player, a guy they respect, they know at some point he's going to help make a play to win the game. I think that bodes well for us.
Coach, something Tyron's preached all season long is his championship swagger. How would you define that, though, from your
I don't know if I got a definition for that. I just got my own. I don't even know what a swagger is, to be honest with you. But they have it. You know, I mean, he has it. You know, most of them do. Look, to me, it's a confidence thing, right? I mean, you can't play this game or be successful in this particular game unless you're a confident player. You got to believe in yourself, right? You got to be secure in yourself. And I don't know if that's his definition, but that's what I can see. Yeah.
Sorensen played 100% of the defense
Yeah.
last week. That hasn't always been the case this season. How important is he to your defense?
Yeah, he's important to us. He's important to Dave Tobe and what he does. He made some terrific plays last week that changed the flow of the game. He is as steady of a player that I've ever been around. I mean, every day he comes in, he works at it. He's the first guy out on the field. I don't know if you're all out there when we go out for practice, but always the first guy out, never misses. He loves what he does, and he's professional in everything that he does. I'm glad we got him.
What's the most important thing that you're telling your players about Derrick Henry in Sunday's game, making sure that they not only wrap up on the tackle,
Yeah.
but also some of the mental things like don't line up in the neutral zone?
Yeah, well, all the mental things, it wouldn't matter who you're playing. You don't want to give anybody an extra 5 yards because you went offside or did something that you're not supposed to do. Look, he's a huge challenge. I can spit out all the tackling terms. I mean, our guys know what they are. It's going to be a mindset. And it's going to take all 11. It's not going to be one guy tackling. It's a swarm. Overpopulate the ball. We know he's going to get the ball a lot, so get a lot of people there. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, everybody in your position wants to play an opponent and force him to be one-dimensional.
Yeah.
They kind of come in that way, relying on
That's a good point.
70% of their yards. How do they get away with that? What makes this guy so good as a runner and their offensive line so effective that they can play that way and win?
Yeah, you just hit something that, look, we talk a lot about the back because he's got the ball, he's getting all the yards, and he's credited with them. But that offensive line, you talk about playing as a unit, they remind me a little bit of the old line that we had in 07 with the Giants. And I don't know if you remember that Super Bowl we were in. They ran that ball for like the first 8 minutes or something. And it was the old line and a bunch of backs. And that's what this football team does. And somehow, some way, we got to find a way to get them to third down and then win third down. Because if we don't do that, we can't get the ball back to Patrick Mahomes and Coach Reid. So that's going to be the challenge that we're going to have.
With that, Steve, how much freedom do you give Tyron as far as like what he does before the snap to fake a blitz and what he does even after the snap to break off his?
Well, there's a little bit of it coordinated. We have calls, but listen, I give him free rein because he feels the game. There are some things, it's the typical. There are some things during the game. It's like, what is he doing? Oh, great job, because he's not doing exactly the way you drew it up, and yet he has a feel and a keen instinct. And look, you got to let these guys play. He is an instinctive player. I'd never want to pull that away from him, so we let him go. We good? All right, thank you.
How y'all doing? Good. Hey, let's go. Let's roll.
Coach, the nation saw you calling plays Sunday, versus what everybody thinks goes on. How does it feel, I guess, to finally get recognized for the work that you actually do here?
Listen, we have an operation and how we do things, and we have a communication system. I mean, coach is communicating to me. I'm communicating to the quarterback. To be honest with you, I think people are making something out of nothing. At the end of the day, the only thing that we want to do is chop wood and continue finding ways to get ourselves to that game that's taking place in Miami. That's what this is all about.
There were some early drops last game. What change do you think on the sidelines and the mentality of we're not going to let this happen, we're not going to make these mistakes and drive forward?
Well, one thing, and I've said this to you guys before, I'm very proud of the way our guys have rallied through adverse situations. I'm very proud of how we've handled things through tough times. In life, everything is not perfect, okay? Things happen. The only thing that you're going to be measured on is how you handle it. And one thing I kept talking to the guys about, just remain poised, okay? You never want to spot a team by 24 points. You never, ever want to do that. But one thing that I commend our guys is that we did remain poised. One thing that we talked about, and I know you guys heard Pat talk about it, and we talk about this every single day. Just play one play at a time, okay? Focus for that one particular play. Why? That play is by far the most important play. Then when it's all said and done, we'll line up and do it again. And we're going to put all our focus, our effort, and energy into that play. That's what it's about. And those guys played one play at a time, and the results end up showing.
Coach, it's hard. Titans are a team that like to pound the ball with Derrick Henry. How important is it for you guys to get up early?
It's very important. It's important for us to make sure that we're maximizing the opportunities that are presented to us offensively. Because, yes, I mean, Derrick Henry is a force. He's a great kid. He's a great human being. I had an opportunity to spend some time with him at the Combine when he came out, and I was very impressed with the person. Being a former running back and former running back coach, it goes without saying. I'm a fan of the kid. The kid does a hell of a job. Now, this weekend, I'm not going to be a fan, But it is important for us to take care of business on our side of the ball. It is important for us to execute with great attention to details, and it is important for us to put points on the board to apply pressure to them.
For all of Andy's accomplishments, you know, the knock against him has always been performance in championship games and getting that Super Bowl ring. As someone who's known him a long time, you know, is that unfair criticism, and what makes you think that he's a different coach now that can handle that differently?
Well, and I'll say this. For Coach to be in as many championship games that he's been in, and maybe he hasn't quite got over the hurdle yet, I say it's still a huge accomplishment because he's still one of the best in the business. But when it's all said and done, when you take each year, you know, as they present itself, the only thing that we want to make sure that we're doing is that we complete this season the way that we want to complete it. And for Coach, he's just excited. He's energized. He just wants to make sure that collectively as a staff and as a team that we maximize the opportunity that's being presented to us. We know how close that we came last year, you know, but this time we want to maximize it and get over that hurdle.
Dave told us that he would cry if it happened. How will you react?
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that one. But in the bad way or in the good way we're talking? In the good way. You know what? I'll just sit there and enjoy the moment because they only come so many times. The last time I went to a Super Bowl was with the San Diego Chargers, okay, in the 1994 season. So you don't get these opportunities all the time. And so this will be my fourth championship game that I've partaken in, whether being a player or fourth, yes, that I've taken place in as a coach and as a player. And these opportunities don't come very often. So the last time I've been to the Super Bowl was 1994. So it's been a long time. So it's up to us to make sure that we find a way to get over the hurdle.
A couple more. How different is this offense than the last time you guys lost a game, which was to Tennessee? Do you feel mentally and on a mature level, or just the way guys are approaching this point in the season, you guys are different than the last time you played them?
Well, more than any, it is about our approach. It is about our attitude. I always talk to the guys about how they come in the building. Make sure you have a plan. It's about making sure that our approach, our attitude, and our determined mindset is focused on the goal. All right, and the goal is winning the Super Bowl, but there's a lot of things that needs to take place prior to. Well, today our focus and our attitude and our approach is about situational football and how we handle today's practice. And so I think from that point on, our guys have just decided to focus on what's important, all right? Just how we talk about one play at a time, it's one day at a time, okay? How we take care of meetings, how we handle ourselves in the weight room, the training room, you know, what are we doing at night, taking care of our bodies. All of those little things matter because if you want to be the best, there's some things that you got to give up. There's some things that you got to be willing to pay a price for. And I think more than anything, collectively as a group, our guys are growing in that direction.
Coach, I know it's probably hard, it's similar to that, it's probably hard to make a comparison, but this group last year is going through it for the first time. Have you got a sense throughout this week for the guys that were here last year that they're just more ready for this moment, or there's the way that they handle all the extra stuff, that they're more prepared and locked in on the game as opposed to all the other stuff that comes along with the championship game?
Well, I think the experience of going through it last year has helped tremendously. We're a year older. We've been there before. But at the end of the day, we want to find a way to, as I've said to you guys before, to drag ourselves across the finish line together. So collectively, we're going to do it together. We're going to work our tails off today. And you know what? We get everything done that needs to be done. We'll find a way to get through Friday. But the only thing that matters is what we have at task today. And that's to make sure when we go in that practice field that we handle ourselves the right way, and then we handle ourselves the right way in the meeting room after that. All right. You guys take care. Thank you.
Patrick, one of the things you guys had some struggles with during the regular season was some red zone things. Everything worked out great Sunday in the red zone, even when things got off kilter. And, you know, like the flip to Travis and stuff.
Yep.
You guys got that little wavelength thing going where when things are a little off, you're still being able to figure out how to get it done.
Yeah, I think we just kind of stayed with the process is the biggest thing all season long. I mean, obviously we didn't have the same success we had last year in the red zone this year, but I think when it counts that we've kind of came up big and made plays, and I think that goes with the play calls. We've been having good play calls, getting guys open, and then whenever stuff's off schedule, guys are continuing to work. They're not settling. They're moving around and staying alive, so I can find them in the end zone.
Dave Chope said that he would cry if he was able to get Andy Reid a Super Bowl. How would you react? What would it mean to you to get Andy Reid to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be amazing, obviously. I mean, the work and that he's put in every single day, every single where he's been at. I mean, he's had success, and so obviously we want to get him that Super Bowl. But we understand it's a process. We understand that first off we gotta come in, have a great practice today, and then play great this weekend, and then try to give ourselves a chance to be in that game and get a chance to get him that trophy.
Would you be happier for him or for yourself?
I'd probably be happy for him for sure. But I mean, I think I'll be pretty happy too for myself.
Patrick, how do you guys use the benefit of his experience in games like this, in your preparation and in your execution and confidence level to take to the field on Sunday?
Yeah, I think having Coach Reid, he understands that there's going to be unscouted stuff. There's going to be different looks that we're not prepared for. So being able to make adjustments quickly is something that he preaches, and also knowing that the speed of the game is going to take another step. I mean, it's hard to think about that when you're in the NFL, but every single round you get in the playoffs, it seems like it gets a little bit faster. And so we're just going to lean on that, lean on his experience, and trust in his game plan that he's going to put us in position to win.
Pat, do you talk to your players, do you talk to your teammates about bulletin board material, and if so happens they put some out there that it's, up to you to make sure that, you follow through on it?
No, not necessarily. I think the best thing about this team is we let our personality show. We are who we are. We go out there and we play football. We love doing it, and we're going to enjoy playing this game together every single time we get an opportunity to.
Patrick, your former high school White House is planning to paint the town red. What's your message to them as they continue to support you?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the people that I've been around growing up. Is White House, Tyler, whole East Texas area. They support me. Lubbock, Texas, where I went to college, supports me, and now Kansas City supports me. And I've been blessed that way, where I've had a lot of great people in my life that have really steered me in the right direction, and I'm thankful for everything that they do for me.
This is the second time, Patrick, where in the AFC Championship game where you're playing an opponent that you saw previously in the year. How much can that help from what you experienced a year ago, and is it better for you in some ways to see a defense early in the year that may help you in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you get to play against a defense once before, some of the personnel and some of the things that they were trying to do and trying to take away. And obviously, they're going to make adjustments, and we're going to make adjustments, and there's going to be a little bit different game plan. But in the same sense, you understand what their first thought of what they needed to do in order to have success, and you know what you were thinking. And so I think just going back on that, looking at all that stuff, also looking at other stuff that they've done against other teams, and trying to formulate a good enough game plan that where you can kind of be ready for everything.
Is it better in this way because you guys did have a lot of yards, you guys did put up points versus maybe a performance that wouldn't have been as prolific? Is it almost helpful in that way, knowing that there's maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 things or so that can get you over the top in the second chance?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes both ways. I mean, if you looked at last week, the Texans, I feel like we didn't play as good offensively. The last game we had played them, and then we played really good this last one. So I think it goes both ways. You get to see the defense, you get to see what they're trying to take away, and then you try to combat that. And it can be stuff that you had success with, and then you want to go off of that, or if it could be stuff that you didn't have success with that you want to try to do better. And so, I mean, it's just every game's different. You know that they're going to have a different game plan, and you're going to go out there and try to execute as best as possible.
Pat, Tyron mentioned trouble sleeping, just with the anticipation of how big this game is. How has your week been as far as compared to other typical weeks? Are you that excited, similar to how you handle the week?
Yeah, obviously you have excitement. I mean, you're ready to play in this game, and this is what you want to do is play a home game, AFC Championship game, and get a chance to win in front of the fans. But I just try to stay with the process. I think that's been the biggest thing for me all season long is not trying to get too high or too low, and just focus on the process of day by day being great and getting the best out of every single day. And so hopefully at the end of the year I can look back and be in the spot that I want to be at.
You guys sat there at 6-4 after that loss, and Andy Reid was just saying, okay, everybody kind of looked at each other and said, we got to step it up. You kind of agree with that, knowing that you were at 6-4 at a point at this season where, you were tied for the division lead at that point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, I think at that point in the season, we didn't have a good run of games where we weren't playing the way we wanted to play. Obviously, we had injuries and stuff like that, but at the same time, I feel like we weren't playing the way the Chiefs football is played. And I think the guys just kind of looked in the mirror and decided that they were going to put in work every single day. They weren't going to be satisfied with just going out there and trying to put up numbers and do this stuff. They wanted to find whichever way it was to win the football game. And I think that was a big thing that guys realized then is it doesn't have to be pretty, but if you win, then it's pretty in the end.
Patrick, there was a list that came out recently of the top 10 most well-mannered celebrities, and you were on that list. Does that surprise you, and where do your good manners come from?
Yeah, I think it goes back to where I come from. Being in East Texas, small town, everybody's usually pretty nice to you, and you kind of have to respect your elders and do all that different type of stuff. But I'm just who I am. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Is I've always felt like if I'm nice to people and treat them like that I want them to treat me, then usually good things happen.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Sammy, last year in the AFC Championship game, you had a big game for the Chiefs and the players against the Patriots. How important is it for you in your own mind that you feel that you need to have the same type of production this Sunday?
Not really my production. I just think I need to go out there and play hard, play physical, play fast like I've been doing, and really go out there and enjoy this moment and do everything in my might to help my team. It's not really about the yards or receptions. If I can go out there and block and do everything best of my will, I think we should be fine.
And how are you feeling physically?
Physically, I think we have one of probably the best schedules. Coach has been really good with our schedule, and I think everybody's going to be running fast and moving pretty quick.
Sammy, what do you see differently from the Titans secondary when they faced in Week 10 to now? Because they've had a pretty good run the last couple of games.
They're a well-coached team. They play fast, they hit hard, they play well together, and it's going to be a challenge. I think they got a great team in general, and we're going to have to be on our poise and really go out there and have fun and play, and be the team that we always been, and play fast and enjoy this moment.
Sammy, compared to other teams, their defensive backs along the same vein, just how they disguise and don't show things till late. Just what kind of challenge does that present to you guys? I know the light routes based on kind of the formations, the leverage, and all that kind of stuff. Just what kind of challenges present knowing how creative they are in that back end?
Yeah, by watching film, I definitely think they probably one of the top teams with switching coverages and doing a lot of weird stuff to throw us off with, a lot of unusual things. But I think we watch a lot of film, and if we're all on the same page and Pat throwing the balls the way he always been doing, and we're running great routes, and we're blocking and doing all the things we've been doing, I honestly think we should be perfectly fine. I think we watched enough film on them.
Sammy, last time when you guys played the Titans, Patrick even acknowledged that he was limited in terms of his movement. He can move in the pocket, but the scramble ability, the ability to extend plays wasn't there for you guys. How much can that be a benefit with the understanding that if you're not initially open, the way the offensive line is playing, the way the quarterback's playing, you can get open on a third route read?
Yeah, I think people kind of forgot Pat just came back that week, and so there's a lot of stuff that was probably up in the air what he can and can't do, and so it's going to be no excuses for us. And like I said, I think if we just go out there and play and have fun, enjoy ourselves, and play the football that we've been playing, and play for each other collectively, I think we should be fine.
Sammy, one of the more entertaining aspects of Sunday's game was watching your reaction mid-play of Patrick scrambling, particularly on the touchdowns to Travis Kelce on the outside. Just what's it like to be on the field, know what the play is called, but to see something happen in real time that is obviously creative and different than what you would be accustomed to?
It's amazing. I think we have one of the best teams, best athletes, and sometimes you do kind of sit back and watch him like what he's going to do. And I think everybody on our team can do some wild, crazy stuff, but our quarterback do the most amazing things with his eyes, the way he throw the ball, the way he carries himself. And I think if he's come ready like he's been doing, we should be fine.
And even with two other organizations, just how happy have you been here in Kansas City and with the Chiefs organization? Obviously wanted that
I think the happiness, the fun is really into the winning. If you're winning and everything's going the right way, and I think we're one game away from the Super Bowl. I think everybody on this team or in this organization should be happy because you got 32 teams, that's 28 teams that's sitting at home, and I think this is one of the best points in my life to be in this position again and having another opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. It's one of the amazing feelings.
Sam, you said after the game on Sunday that you had never played in a game like that before, and you've talked a lot about your personal growth throughout your career. How defining was that game in your growth as a person and as a player?
Definitely a big game and a big win for us. I mean, I never expected us getting down that low and having to come back from a league like that. And it just showed me keep faith. And I mean, you had a lot of guys bring me up. And, I got kind of negative, like, man, what the freak is going on? But you got Trav, you got Pat, you got all the leaders on our team leading us. And I just know you got to continue to have faith. And literally we came back and scored 28 points in one quarter. And we kept going and we stayed hot. So I would say faith. My faith this year has been pretty good.
Sammy, the national media's been picking up on it, but Tyreek told us that nobody can cover you guys. You guys are the best. I know that was out of confidence that he said that, but is that truly what you kind of have to have, that kind of feeling when you go into a game to be as successful as you guys are in the passing game?
I think as an offense, as a football player in general, you should have that mindset. And Tyreek was one of those guys that and I myself is the same way, that we can't be stopped. And we got to have that mentality, not to be cocky or anything. I think this organization, this team is probably one of the quietest, humblest teams. So I think he's just saying a perspective as how hard we work and what we do at practice, that we're going to dominate any opponent that steps in front of us.
Last one. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Damien, you've got any of those T-shirts they're making up in your name?
Oh, man, no, I need some. No, you got something for me?
They're selling them all over the place. How does it feel to be a rock star with a T-shirt after you?
Nah, it feels good, but at the end of the day, you try to, cancel those little things out and keep what's important in your mind.
All kidding aside, what are you preparing for when you look at Tennessee? We heard what, the receivers, what they've got to worry about is a running game. They practice against Derrick Henry and practice every day. What are they like to run against?
Man, Tennessee has a great defense. They have a great front. And, I'm kind of upset, they didn't have, big 99 up front, just to have their full, healthy, defense. So, I'm going to feel, excited just to get into this game and play against a healthy Titans defense.
How much of that excitement is because of how Week 10 went? I remember after the game, you were at your locker, and it was a pretty emotional moment for you.
Yeah.
But now you get to face these guys and to get you one win away from the Super Bowl. But how much of that excitement is because it is the Titans based on what happened last time?
Man, type person I am, I can't have somebody beat up on me and then come to my house and then think they're going to beat up on me again. So at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those games where, people looking at them as an underdog, but I feel like we're the underdogs right now. They already got one up on us. So I feel like, it's going to be an exciting physical game.
Damien, what was going through your head in that moment when you were sitting in your locker room? Was it all about the fumble? Was it other stuff?
Man, at the end of the day, you think about that fumble because they took that to the crib. So, I'm a pride type of person. So, I take that, as that's on me. I could have did better. I should have did better. But at the end of the day, you can't harp on it too much. You can look at the situation, know what type of defense they are. They like to punch at the ball. They like to grab at the ball. So knowing that, when you're running between the tackles, have two hands on it. But at the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from, feeling comfortable and running hard.
Damien, you had some injury stuff as early as training camp and then throughout the season. Are you feeling right now as healthy maybe as you have all year going into this?
Oh man, I feel great. At the end of the day, you don't want to have that time off because you don't want to miss those games. You want to stay in rhythm. But at the end of the day, people don't really look at what you're doing off the field and behind the cameras, how hard I'm really working and what I'm doing to get back on the field and being mentally, tough and strong to, stay into it and, keep up on the play. So when I do come back, you know, I can still stay in rhythm. I'm in rhythm with the offensive line, and everything just flows.
What do you think has made Andy Reid the best possible coach to make the most of what you can do?
Just because I feel like he knows, he kind of takes away, you know, the football person. You know, he kind of knows who you are as a person and what you can and what you can't do, you know, as far as on the field. So I feel like he's good at knowing who I am and what I can do, and he exploits that on the field.
What about your skill set so effectively fits this offensive style?
Oh, the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, I can protect 15. You know, I'm great at blocking. I can get out. I can catch. I can run between the tackles. You know, so I feel like, you know, I can do a lot of things different, you know, to kind of disguise, you know, what we're doing as far as running or passing.
You guys were here last year the same week. It didn't end the way you wanted. You can't fast forward to get here again. You got to live through the whole thing.
Right.
All the stuff you guys have gone through, injuries and things. Is it amazing to you at all that you guys are here, or what is it that kept you guys together through all the different injuries and things you've had to get back here?
Oh man, and like I said, you know, we was here last year. I just feel like, you know, we have different people. You have a different feel. You know, we had a lot of injuries this year, but at the end of the day, I feel like we had a certain grit to ourselves to really, you know, really bite down and really want it. Whether, you know, this person is down, you know, now this next man is up. Now, you know, everything, you know, keeps rolling. You got to have, you know, a grit about yourself.
Couple more, guys.
You've had some of your biggest games in the playoffs. What is it about the big stage, the big moment that brings out the best?
Like you said, you know, it's a big stage and a big moment, you know. Like, I'm a pride type of person, so I like to take pride. You know, at the end of the day, you know, this could be your last run. This could be your last play. And you want to go at it, you know, as such. So, you know, I'm going hard every single play, whether it's a play fake or not. You know, I'm gonna be the best actor you ever seen, acting like I had the ball. But, you know, at the end of the day, you gotta, you know, these big moments you can't shy away from.
What do you appreciate about Eric Bieniemy as a coach? And he got up there. There's a lot of talk about him about not getting a coaching job this time and what his role is.
I'm excited. I'm glad he's coming back. I'm good. I'm good.
But what do you appreciate about him as a coach? And maybe what people don't know about the role that he has.
He's a very smart person. You know, he knows the ins and outs of the game. You know, he's played the game before. And then, you know, I feel like, you know, we can kind of compare it to each other. You know, we're both from California. We was kind of raised, you know, the same way. So in the way, you know, he comes off and he speaks, you know, when I first got here last year and I came on a visit, you know, he was telling me, I'm not going to be the guy to, you know, excuse my language, to kiss your ass. And I'm going to be on top of you. And I told him, you know, that's what I need. You know, that's what I want. I don't want anybody, you know, to, we'll move on to the next play. No, if something's not right, don't look right. We're doing it over. We're going to get it right. And I love that about him. He don't let nothing slide.
And just one more thing is, you know, we talk to the quarterbacks when they oppose a different quarterback. Here you're opposing Derrick Henry. Is there something about that you want to raise your game so that people are talking about you and not him on the field this weekend?
Nah, yeah, most definitely. You know, like I said, I'm a pride type of person, so I take pride in, you know, being the best, you know, on the field, whether it's with my guys or against somebody else. But I'm not thinking about him and what he's doing. All I can do is go out there and, you know, be my best.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks,
Damien.
And I have a question. Hi, Dustin.
How's it going? Front and center.
That's right, because I have many questions for you. But the first one, we were talking to Coach Toe. He said you guys realized they had picked up on the cadence when you're going to kick a field goal. How important is it to be mindful of that? And he said you did make changes, but to go into this knowing that, you know, they were a team that capitalized on that last time.
Yeah, definitely. I think that anytime you do something just over and over and over again like that, we watch a lot of film on everybody, and everybody's can be rhythmical. And so we just got to look at it and throw a couple different things. We do that a lot, but sometimes when, you know, you have 7, 8, 9 field goals or extra points in a game like our offense does, you end up just doing a lot more than other teams. And so we just had to kind of step back and kind of self-scout and say, hey, how are we going to change this just from, James, me, and Butker? Because it's not just, one person doing it. It's everybody's either anticipating or whatever it is. So we can change it up. There's a lot of ways to do that, and it's just to, make sure that you're different on, instead of like 5 opportunities, we have 10 or whatever it is. We just have to make sure that we throw enough different stuff in there so people aren't getting used to our snap count.
Justin, have you heard this week from old teammates, guys you played with earlier in your career?
Not yet. I think they'll after the game we'll talk and stuff like that. I think when you're a former player, I think that they kind of say like, well, we'll chat with them after the game. We understand it's fun watching on social media some of the guys that are kind of reaching out that I've been fortunate enough to kind of play for down through these years, and I know they're excited. I just answered a question in the back, and it's fun thinking about all these guys that did stuff the right way, and just the timing grace that I have to be able to, play in this game after 15 years of being in this city, and how much football means to this town and to the Hunt family and just our organization. It's fun looking back and seeing the guys that I've gotten to play with that I'd love to say like, God, he deserves to, play in this game and do that. So I'm feeling very fortunate right now.
Who comes to mind? Who are you referring to?
Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of guys, but obviously Derek Johnson, who I came in with, Tony G, obviously, he was great for this city. But there's 100 names that I could mention when I first got here, like Will Shields and Brian Waters and Casey Wegman, and guys that you're like, Willie Rove. I mean, I probably played with 1,000 people here, and so you end up just thinking about guys that do things the very right way, and just were time-wise just weren't on this team, and you're like, God, it'd be fun for them to have the same experience. But that's the other thing, the beauty thing about it is watching 7 years of this coaching staff and Veach and our executive offices upstairs kind of, build this team, and guys that, we have 15 guys on an injury report, and Rick Burkholder and the training staff manages to get everybody healthy and back, and we still have our record and this opportunity ahead of us. And so that speaks volume for the coaches that build through the draft and through free agency and know that player they're looking for. And so it's fun to see how all the guys got here. When you look down our roster, everybody's obviously from different places, whether it be out of the draft or from free agency, or how they got here, or if they called Kansas City and said, I want to be here. And so that's fun, seeing guys and who our current roster is and how it's built.
What about your dad and your brother? What do you hear from them?
We're on our way. Britton's on his way in an RV, I heard, my little brother. So he's like, I'm coming. It's like, you can't wear purple, you got to wear red. My dad's on his way, and, they're just excited to be in this, to be able to do this. Britton was able to win a championship in Denver and kind of go on and have a really good, few years in Cleveland and Minnesota. And so they're excited that I've been able to play here just for all of my years. And so they're like, we're coming. So get tickets.
You don't need me to remind you that you played on some pretty bad teams during your time here. Do you feel like having gone through those times will if you can get to a Super Bowl, will make that mean even more than it otherwise might have? If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. And yeah, the answer is yes, it means a lot, because I've seen how this team was put together, and the hard work and the phone calls. And, it's very rare when you see people on the phone in training camp, on the field, and they're taking a call and they're all like, we got him, or like this happened, or you're like, man, they are actively, sculpting this roster. And you could see that kind of all year long, and just getting guys and, plugging in here and that. And so I always think of, when I think my favorite championship is baseball, the celebration after the game, because they go to like every position in time when it happened and how their celebration goes. And so after 15 years and the opportunity, you just see something like, Steve Weatherford comes to mind, of him just sprinting as fast as he can, because Fiegel's played 21 years, never won a playoff game, and then finally wins it all and all this stuff. And so it's cool to those storylines and seeing that. I'm like, Tyreek's fast, Mikol's fast, but I will be faster. It's probably not in my mind, but.
So you have thought about winning a Super Bowl. Coach Tope was up here saying if we win and seeing Andy Reid, I think I'll just cry. You've had have dreams of outrunning your receivers to the middle of the field?
And I'm in slow motion, but
you-
just like in
you
a
envision this?
dream. Yeah, I mean, every player does that works. I think at this game they envision like, going all the way. It's what you work for, what you work out for. It's why you stay in the weight room. It's why you do a lot of things professionally. And the way Coach Reid does things, when you come in 2013, we're lucky to have this guy even come into this small market team. That's what the only thing we ever heard was small market, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, Andy Reid's here. This is crazy. So it's kind of changed the trajectory. And so to win one for him and for all of us, for that matter, and for this city that is so hungry. I mean, we're hungry during preseason games. I mean, it's amazing seeing the fans and the barbecue and just the excitement, in this crowd and just the vibe that was there even when we weren't doing well. And now it's just a monster that you're like, how do they get? I don't think they can get any louder, and they just do. And so it's fun to see that. And of course, you want to win one for Big Red because everybody says he's a player's coach, and I don't think that exists. He's just a man that wants to make other men and win a championship.
We got time for a couple more guys. I just wanted to go back to last week, and special teams had a role in the deficit, and then it had a big role in reversing the deficit. How gratifying is that when special teams can help rally the team?
Definitely, it's rare in the NFL to have a punt blocked and a muff punt and 2 scores after both, one during and then one out, immediately after the muff punt. You look up at the scoreboard and you're like, gosh, we've been responsible for 14 of these 21 points. And then through the course of the next 3 quarters, second, third, and fourth quarter, including at the end there where Pringle goes down and just looks like he's been doing this for like 10 years, goes down and hits a punt inside the 10-yard line, and we just started hitting on all cylinders. 2 things happened, and then we had 5 really big things happen on special teams in the last second, third, and fourth quarter. And so it was just fun to see the guys, because we work hard out there. I mean, it's fun since Coach Tobe's been here, because even on days if we're not in helmets, the return guys are in helmets, we're always in helmets. We're catching footballs, we're doing everything we can. And so when it started out like that, it was one of those things like we always want to be difference makers, and in a positive way, not a negative. And so when we closed out the game like we did, we were all kind of pumped up, and that's how it is: offense, defense, and special teams.
Dustin, there was a report that Patrick Mahomes' hometown was going to paint the town red down in the White House. Curious if your hometown, because of the interesting dynamics, have you had any fun interactions with people back home, or feel that support? Just what's it like going back?
I've kind of basically had to turn almost the whole entire Pi Kappa Alpha house on Tennessee's campus away, because they're just going to be here, and if they're like, if we don't have a ticket, we'll just sit out in the parking lot until you're done. They won't do the paint the town red thing. They hate red because it's an orange state. But they're excited, and they've been coming to. They have not missed a game since Indy 06, especially in the playoffs, and so it's fun to kind of carry that. I mean, punters don't have entourages, but I guess they're a little bit of an entourage.
Is that entourage going to follow you in Miami for the NFL honors and Super Bowl as well?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's better weather. Some of them are living in Chicago and different parts of the country, and so it'll be a lot of fun going down there, closer to Jimmy Buffett weather. And the Walter Payton stuff has been really cool to kind of follow up on, doing videos and having fun, and it's definitely it was a focus, a few weeks ago when we started doing that video stuff, only because of the philanthropy in this town and what that means to this town and the people of the town, and what it would be cool to have like a 6th Walter Payton honoree, and there's 10, 15 guys that do just as much as I do off the field that deserve that award too. I'm just, if they say that you're going, I'm gonna go, but I hope to do all football stuff there. I hope I can't go to any Walter Payton stuff down there. I already told them that.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks,
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, just a reminder, so we are locals only for practice at one point. Shuttle can take you over, we are indoors today, so just keep that in mind. Locals only, and we're indoors.
That person is with their